So recently we finally got the bad news we've been waiting for with the next Battlefield game, and this was the class system blog post going into detail about the plans and what is in the game now. Long story short, it might have been the worst possible system that they could have implemented without fully going into what we had at the launch of Battlefield 2042. Things may be changing in a positive way, but of course that is something we will go into detail later. Another interesting fact is the potential for a reveal for the next game. Now it's still up in the air and not really official on when or if we will be getting that reveal so soon, but at the same time, if we do get a reveal some point in June, I don't think that will change my opinion on the window they should be aiming for. But before we go into all of that, just want to say if you guys enjoy the content and want more from me, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell to be notified on when I do drop more content. Without the way, let's talk about that class system backlash and some of the changes that might be coming. So it's safe to say that there was an overwhelming amount of backlash for that class system blog post. Seemingly they were telling us that we are keeping the current system we have now in Battlefield 2042, but with no operators and some changes like weapon class specialty. So if you're a recon, you will be really good with bolt action stuff. Mainly you could just hold your breath longer. A lot of that got a lot of backlash, and rightfully so in my opinion. Now, it's not that I, a veteran to the franchise, am against change. It's just that this is fundamentally against what makes that Battlefield experience. Imagine if the next Call of Duty game, they remove the create a class system. How much that decision would strip Call of Duty of its identity. That's basically what this is here. The roles you play on the battlefield are much more core to the experience than the weapons you choose to use. The weapon basically helps shape that class role. It's important for any sort of balance if we're being honest. Sure, a top meta weapon might spawn more of one class because of that weapon. For example, look at what medics were doing with the M16A3 in Battlefield 3, but at the same time, weapons being locked to classes balance the sandbox, and at the same time, it does provide value in playing that class. In simple terms, Battlefield classes have always been influenced by the rock, paper, scissors approach. Not locking weapons goes against that core foundational approach we have seen from past games. So I am hoping that some sort of change is implemented and this is not the system we are going forth with. So in general, that was a lighter tone backlash than the much more heavy backlash that we got online. It seems on Reddit that the official Battlefield account has removed their post on the class system. Now, to be fair, as always, this does not mean we are back in business and we will get everything we want with classes. It is a potential sign that the devs are truly listening and acting on feedback from the community. As I was saying to some of my friends in my personal life, it is a really good thing that Battlefield Labs exists because it's at least some proof that the devs are listening and feedback is important. But of course, we will see soon enough on what changes they may be implementing if they are in fact implementing those changes. Now, another important thing to mention is going to be a reveal date for the game itself, and this one is interesting. Now, most of it stems from the recent playtest date of 20/25/06/17 was dropped in the playtest at the conclusion. So specifically, once that playtest ended, there was a message found in the game that says this game hasn't been released yet. Wait until the official release date, which was what the date I just said, 2025/06/17, or preload date 2025/06/17 to install. This date is June 17th, 2025. So it's safe to say that the game won't be out by then, but based on the details we got from the CEO, they did say they were planning to reveal the game in the summer. So maybe this week or the following week, we get some information on that. It also helps that X Factor on Twitter said this: I've had two sources tell me EA will be announcing Battlefield 6 in June unless there's a massive blowback or cause for concern. Now, he is a longtime creator in the Battlefield space, so this is still very much likely going to be the plan, a June reveal. So the leak date in the playtest and what X Factor's saying, it's safe to say that we will be getting a reveal in June. And so far, despite the class system blog post getting massive backlash, nothing here is stemmingly concerning. The game still, besides that stuff, some gunplay stuff and some weapon loadout stuff, seemingly looks to be a very strong game. I'm just looking forward to some official stuff from EA itself, because sometimes the leaked gameplay is fun and all, but I want to feel like we're really getting close to some sort of date that EA will be announcing. Now, I will say I still, like I said in other videos, want the release date of this game to be after Call of Duty in some sense. I am tired of Call of Duty. I will no longer be playing Call of Duty for the foreseeable future. And I do think that this is a massive opportunity to capture a lot of good sentiment and a solid player base if you just release the game after Call of Duty. They're going to be doing some interesting things from what it seems like, bringing back that Black Ops 3 advanced movement stuff and other nonsense. And also the quality of the game has just nosedive. I'm not saying Call of Duty has ever been quality, but at the same time, it's been better than Battlefield. But yeah, release after Call of Duty, even if the reveal is June. Do not release beforehand. Wait until after Call of Duty. Release this game in December, release this game in January, whatever it may be. Give you guys the proper time to make a fully polished and successful Battlefield game at launch. But that is a tall tale. Some of the greatest Battlefield games have not been great at launch, but again, hopefully things are changing for the better. But besides that, that's the video. I'm curious to see what you have to say on all this information. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop this video a like, helps out the video a ton. And if you want more content from me, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell to be notified on when I do drop more content. As always, thank you guys for watching. It is greatly appreciated. That's all I have to say on this one. ShadowNinja here, and I'm out.